I want to have a quick conversation with you about how to solve coach scheduling issues. Okay. If you are a coach, it doesn't matter if you have 5 clients or 5,000 clients. At some point, you are going to have some coach scheduling issues. So, into this conversation, I really want to really touch on a few challenges that you might have. So, here are the taxes I want you to think about. So, when you think about coach scheduling issues, you got to think about geography, you got to think about demographics, and you got to think about chronology. I mean, geography means that you're probably in the States, and you have clients in the States, in Canada, in Australia, in Germany, in Brazil, in you have clients in a lot of countries. So right there, right then and there, you have a conflict, right, in terms of geography. When we talk about coach scheduling issues, you can also they have problems that revolve around timing. Like when you have time zone differences, those could create actually some scheduling issues. Like somebody is really booking you. Well, it's already 9. Well, while it's 9 a.m. in their country, but in your country, like you're somewhere in the States, and that's actually 2 a.m. in your time zone. So this could create another problem. So I want to walk you through the challenges that you can actually have and why they came in the first place. The first challenge that you might have as a coach: how can you prevent clients booking 5 minutes from now or 1 year from now? Imagine you just going about your day away from your desk when you suddenly get a notification that a client just booked a meeting 5 minutes from now. And when using an automated booking system to let clients book their own appointments with you, that's something that can happen, and it does happen all the time. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to actually have a module, or you want to have a filtering system that whereby you can actually set an appointment notice to 6 hours, to 4 hours, to 12 hours. That way, if somebody's trying to book actually a session with you within 5 minutes, they will get a notification that you're not available within the next 4 hours. And you can set it to 4 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, whatever works for you. And if somebody wants to book, let's say, a meeting with you 1 year from now, they'll also get a notification that, hey, listen, they cannot actually book a session with you past 3 months. That way you actually delineate the time window within which you want to be available. And that's important to really think about. The second problem that you might have: how do you avoid back-to-back bookings with no space in between? This is another important scheduling, coach scheduling issue that we have found. So having back-to-back sessions is not just exhausting. Think about it. It's not the best way for you to show up for your clients. It's important to take some time to recharge between sessions and refresh your mind. I mean, you're not a robot. I mean, nowadays we hear about artificial intelligence and chat GPT, whatever, but you're not a chat GPT. You are a human being that has flesh and blood. I mean, you definitely want to have time to recharge your batteries. Okay, so what happens is that you want to have a software that allows you to add appointments gaps that will automatically block out time between each appointment, and you can choose the length of your buffers depending on what works for you. For instance, you can set it up to 10 minutes, and you can even block out an hour between appointments if you have found this works well for you. You have to see what works for your biology and what actually works well for your style as well. The third challenge is that how can you make sure that you're never double booked? Sometimes you may have events in your personal calendar that weren't booked using your automated booking system. So when your system doesn't sync with your automated calendar, what happens here is that you can unfortunately end up double booked. Now the thing is that when you are double booked, you want to keep you want to save face vis-a-vis the clients, because at the end of the day, your coaching is a business, right? So clients are the ones who are fueling the business, monetarily speaking. So you want to really make sure that you are able to handle this professionally. That's why it's important, in our view, to choose a tool that can sync with your Google Calendar. So whether you go with whatever coaching software you have, you want to make sure that it syncs with your Google Calendar, or even your time, your Windows, your Microsoft Calendar. This is kind of good. I mean, you want to really make sure that the syncing is happening automatically, so you don't have to constantly tweak your availability to avoid double bookings. And the funny thing is that sometimes you might even be triple booked instead of being double booked. You might be triple booked. So you gotta really be sure, especially if you have clients in several countries with different time zones, this could happen, and it does happen. Next, what if you want different availability for different types of bookings? This could be another scenario where you want to really solve that coach scheduling challenge. And the thing is that some coaches prefer to do all their one-on-one sessions with paying clients on the same day. You can say, you know what? I mean, my Wednesdays are for one-on-one paying clients. Okay. But what happens if someone books a free discovery session on that Wednesday, on that day where you want to have only paying clients? That quote unquote free client is actually trying to really have you. That's a problem, right? And the last thing you want is to actually not optimize your time the right way. So what you want to do is you want to use software that lets you create different availability for each type of bookings if you wish to do so. And this leads perfectly into the next scheduling issue that you may run into, and that is how do you batch your client appointments days together? And this is another important element. Remember, when we talk about coaching business, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So your mental health is important. Your psychological health is important. Your physical health is important. So those three components of your health are critical. So if you're feeling drained just by the idea of having coaching sessions spread out throughout the day, know that it is possible to batch your appointments together. And you can do this by time blocking. And time blocking is a great time management technique that lets you batch similar tasks in the same block of time. That way, you know that when you do a one-on-one, you're doing one-on-one Wednesday morning, and you're doing other types of sessions Wednesday afternoon or Monday afternoon, right? So you want to really stick to that, because that's going to help you. That's going to instill a layer of predictability, a layer of granularity, a layer of efficiency in your schedule, right? And you want to have that. You want to have that, especially when you look at coaching as a long-term marathon, right? This is not a sprint. This is not a short-term sprint. This is a long-term marathon, and you want to actually build a relationship. You want to cultivate a relationship with your clients, not only today, but also in the future. So that's really important to think about things that way. So I want to talk to you about something that's important. And the thing is that when we analyze you trying to really batch, when you trying to batch several clients, I mean, you're trying to batch your client appointment day together. Sorry here. So the point I'm trying to make here is that I want to really touch a little bit more on that, because this is an important element that happens to a lot of coaches. Okay. So for example, you could create a time block for all discovery sessions on Monday and Wednesdays between, let's say, 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. And so when deciding how to create your time blocks, you want to envision your ideal schedule, right? When do you feel like you get your best work done? Some people are morning persons, some people are afternoon persons, and some people are like night owls. You got to really see what works for you in terms of lifestyle, in terms of biology, in terms of charisma. Okay, what times in the day do you have the most energy for calls? Then set up your availability depending on that ideal schedule. And so that's kind of cool. And so if you have software that lets you set different availability for different types of sessions, it allows you to time block easily. Because of this, you can actually use it to use the software to make sure you are only available during your ideal schedule. And so that's one of the biggest benefits of running your own coaching business: the freedom to work when you want, where you want. So you can be in Acapulco and actually work, and you can be in Bali, work, or you can be somewhere in LA and work. But make sure that you want to use that freedom, okay? Next, you got to ask yourself, how can you deal with clients in different time zones? I spoke about that a little earlier, but now I really want to go more granular here. So having access to the internet opens a wide world of possibilities for your coaching business, and it doesn't matter the niche you're in. You can have clients from virtually anywhere in the world, but that comes with its own series of problems. For instance, you've probably done the mental gymnastics of figuring out booking times with someone in another time zone. So when you schedule appointments with your coaching software, you only ever see your own time zone, and your clients only see their own time zone. So this is all done automatically. No need for your clients to change their time zone. This means you won't accidentally get a client who booked a free discovery session with you at 2 a.m. the next day, right? And also, the software also accounts for daylight savings time changes, which actually removes one more thing from your admin to-do list. And that's you got to have that. Next, what if clients need to reschedule? I mean, life happens, and at one point or another, you have a client who absolutely needs to reschedule their appointment. They've tried everything. They're trying to really keep it, but they just realize that they will not be their best when they actually meet with you on that day. So the traditional way coaches deal with this is by canceling the original appointment, then sending their clients the booking calendar again so they can book a new one. Or worse, they end up emailing back and forth with a client to find a time that suits everyone. And you can actually avoid those headache-inducing moments when you let clients reschedule their appointments themselves, right? So you want to have software that gives you the ability to do those things seamlessly. So when you have software that allows every client to have their own portal where they can do this on their own, that's kind of cool, because the software will take care of notifying you when this happens and when the client is actually taking the time to actually go through the whole process and done what she or he has to do. Plus, if you have the right software, clients can access other useful information in their portal. By the way, everything I'm telling you, we actually did a complimentary video that talks about coaching software. So you might want to watch that coaching software video to have a clear idea about the software that I'm speaking about. They actually run the gamut from Paperbell to Mighty Networks to a Nusi and so on and so forth. So basically, a client can access other useful information in their portal, such as intake forms. So those are critical. You have also shared files. You have proposals. You have invoice receipts. That's kind of cool. And with a client portal, client don't need actually to rely on you every single time they need to book their next appointment, reschedule, or review a file you shared with them in the first place. Everything is centralized. How do you make sure clients get appointment reminders? So basically, this is also an important scheduling issues. So we're all humans, and humans forget things sometimes. So we've all been in that awkward situation where when we actually have forgotten an important appointment, right? I mean, you don't want to be there. At least you don't want your client to have that vis-a-vis you. So the thing here is that reminders can help mitigate this risk of forgetting things. But sending reminder emails adds another chore to your to-do list. Plus, what if you forget to send those too, right? Because again, you are busy. So the good thing is that with the proper software, you can set up automated appointment reminders to get sent out at any interval that you want. And the cool thing is you can also remind clients a day before, an hour before, 5 minutes before, or all of the above if you wish. It really depends on you. It depends also on the clients. And those are just examples. You can send those emails whenever you feel works best to remind your clients, because you have to adapt your strategy to the demographics that you actually you are speaking to. And you can also customize the emails that get sent out. This means what? It means that you can send emails that sound like you, not a robot, right? Well, clients have to feel and sense your voice through the email. Plus, you can use those emails as an opportunity to nurture and warm up potential clients who booked a free discovery session. You can educate them on how to prepare for the call. So that's kind of cool. What they will get out of the session, common challenges they may face, and so much more. So, and this is a great opportunity to actually push your leads down the funnel, down your sales funnel, and so they can become paying clients. That's what you want in the end anyway. And one thing I want to say also is that you want to really be in a situation where you're automating those things. I mean, reminders, emails, or what have you, those must be automated, because otherwise you'll be just sitting around at your desk and really working all the time, and you don't want that. You have a life, and so you gotta have the right software, that's for sure. But you want to automate those routine tasks so that they will happen in the background, and you can actually go about just running your business. So that's an important element. And so for paying coaching clients, you can use the reminder emails to remind them of how to prepare for the session, especially if your process involves homework. So how can you prevent no-shows for your free discovery sessions? I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, can you imagine? People are so rude. Like, you actually allow someone to have a free discovery session and then you realize that they're a no-show. I mean, if you're pissed, you definitely are right to be pissed. But how do you prevent yourself from being pissed in the first place? How can you make sure that people show up for your free discovery sessions? No-shows can even be an issue with paid bookings. People have a lot going on in their lives and appointments can slip through the cracks, right? That's for sure. But there are a much bigger problem with free discovery sessions because clients may believe they have nothing to lose if they don't show up. Luckily, there are several ways to prevent no-shows from happening whether someone books a free or paid call with you. First, make sure you have appointment reminders for every type of session. That's very important. Okay, so you wanna really go back to what I said a little earlier about automated appointment reminders. Another effective way that we have found in our investigations to prevent no-shows is to make sure your client adds their booking to their personal calendar. So some scheduling tools allow clients to book appointments with you, but they still have that extra step of adding the appointment to their own calendar. So how can you ensure appointments make it to your calendar and your client's calendar? Well, one way to do this is to remind them to do so in your confirmation email, or you can use the software to actually do this process, to make this process automatic. Okay, so every time a client books a new appointment, the software will actually will trigger a series of emails and a series of benchmarking items in the background, and the booking also gets added to your calendar so that you don't miss anything. Okay, but there are other issues that may actually cause no-shows. Some clients may not show up to sessions because they are unsure of how they are supposed to be connecting with you. For example, they might think the session is a phone call and they'll sit at home expecting a call from you, right? Meanwhile, you're sitting on Zoom wondering where it all went wrong. The cool thing is that if you have the right software, the automated calendar invitation specifies how the meeting is happening. So for instance, if it's a Zoom call, there will be a Zoom link, and the Zoom integration even creates custom Zoom links for every appointment so that there is no chance of someone crashing the appointment. Okay. And the cool thing is you can adjust the settings when you are creating your appointment types. This way, you can ensure that your clients always have the right link, and this can go a long way in preventing no-shows. And finally, you can also prevent no-shows by making your policies crystal clear. When your clients understand what happens if you don't show up, they will know the implications and be more careful. Okay, that's really good. And you can have a contract, by the way. Okay, so you can use contracts instead of paying for a separate document signing software. You can actually have contracts that even if those are for free sessions. Contracts lay out the terms for everyone to see, which prevents ambiguity. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to actually solve client coaching issues for all kinds of coaches. I give you the tactics and now the challenges. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.